Hi, you guys. I'm about to sneeze right now, so hold on. Give me a second. I can't pause it. Okay, it disappeared. All right. I need to figure out how to do that. Oh, I just had it. Where do I go? Tools. Here we go. Fill in sign. Okay. Um, so we're gonna do word problems today, which is super fun. Intro to word problems. So if you didn't, I have the sheet that you guys have right here. Um, It is way down here at the bottom, but we do need to take some notes. So if you haven't glued it in yet, you're definitely going to want to glue it towards the end of the paper, not at the top. So there's three things you need to do for word problems. And I know some of you are going to look at these problems and be like, this is so easy. I can figure out the answer right away. Why would I need to figure out all of this work? And by the way, you guys can use calculators on this. I know we don't have them downloaded yet on our computers, but please feel free. I think you guys know how to open up the calculator on your computer. If not, help each other out. I know some of you have done it before, so you can feel free to use the calculator that's on your computer to help you answer these. So there's three things you have to do in algebra in order to show the answer, and each one is really worth a third. So please don't just figure out what the answer is. Please make sure you do all the steps. So the first one is to define your variable. You're going to have an unknown, and you got to say what it's going to be equal to. Step two, you need to write an equation. Just a couple notes about this equation. The first thing is your variable should not be by itself. One thing. Another thing, you really should only use numbers that are in the problem or that are given to you. And last but not least, which I think is the hardest part about solving word problems or writing the equation, is you have to write it as if you haven't actually solved the problem already. So write it, well, that's not great. Write it as if you haven't already solved the problem. This is going to be the hardest task because a lot of you are going to know right away what it is, what the answer is, but you have to write it before you've done any solving. The last step is solve, and you're going to include units in your answer. Those are our three steps. We need all three parts for every single one. So let's see what that looks like. Here is question one. The local Halloween store is running a special on Pikachu and Charizard costumes. I wrote this question last year. My daughter was Pikachu for Halloween, and my son was Charizard. So Joe buys 3 Pikachu costumes because everybody needs 3 Pikachu costumes and 1 Charizard costume for $42. The Charizard costume costs $13.50. How much did each Pikachu cost? So remember, step one is to define your variable. So what is it that we don't know? So I always like to pick X. You don't have to, but I just do. So X equals, and what is it that we don't know is we don't know how much each Pikachu costume costs. So we're going to say X equals cost of each Pikachu costume. So step one done, just defining what is our variable that we're going to use. Now a lot of you are probably sitting here thinking, oh, well, I'm going to take 42, I'm going to subtract the 1 Pikachu costume from it, I'm going to figure out what that is equal to, and then once I figure out what that is equal to, I'll just divide it by 3, and that'll get me my Pikachu costume. But what you're doing when you do that is you're solving it. And remember, we need to write it as if we haven't already solved the problem. So what if we were standing at the store? What we would do is we would say, all right, well, 3 Pikachu costumes at X dollars each plus the $13.50 is going to equal my total. Because if you're standing at the cash register, they're going to add up what you've spent so far and have it equal your total. So that's what you need to have it equal to also. So that's the equation we're looking for. Next up, we're going to solve it. So we're going to head and subtract 13.50 from both sides. So that gets me 3x equals, what does that get me? 29.50? Nope, 28.50. Let's see, is that right? 42, 32. Yes. And then we're going to divide 28.50 by 3. Gosh, I don't have a calculator on me right now. But you guys probably do. And you guys go ahead and divide 3850 by 3. I'm going to think through it real quick to get the answer. 950, I believe. So x equals, ooh, I don't like the way it's going to be down there. So x equals 950, but we have to make sure we include units. So what is that 950 talking about? Ah, go back to that x. There you go. X equals 950. It's dollars, so we're going to put dollars 9.50. Perfect. So that's a full answer. This is the first step, second step, and finally the third step. Let's look at these. Jennifer wanted to share her candy with her 4 friends. She first took 10 pieces and then evenly divided the rest amongst her friends. If she started with 18 pieces, how many did each friend receive? So what is it that we don't know? We don't know how many candies each friend received. Step 1, done. Second, there's a couple equations that would work for this one. One of them you could think about, well, she started with 18, and then she got rid of 4 times x, because that's how much she gave to each friend, and in the end it equaled 10. So that's one way, that's one equation that could work. You could also think about how would we make it equal the total, which is 10, and that would be she had 10, plus she had the 4 friends that she each gave x to, and that would equal 18. Those are really the only 2 equations that would work. So one of these 2 would be the ones we're looking for. Solving it, let's see, minusing 10 gets us 4x equals 8. 4x equals 8, so x equals 2, and my units are candies. All right. Let's go ahead and do the next one. Leah had $24 to spend on really fancy pencils. After buying them, she had $10. How much did each pencil cost? That is great, but we have no idea how many pencils she bought. I'm missing a piece of information. Let's put on 7. Let's insert the number 7 here. On 7 really fancy pencils, because otherwise there's 2 unknowns, the number of pencils and the cost, which is a problem. My apology. So now the unknown is just x equals cost of each pencil. So this is similar to the last one. There's actually 2 equations that could make sense. You could either say, well, she has 24. She's going to get rid of 7 or spend 7 pencils that each cost x dollars, and in the end she'll have $10 left. Or you could say she has $10, she's going to add to it 7x, 7 pencils that each cost x, and it's going to equal 14. So those are the 2 equations I'm looking for. And let's just think about solving this one. Subtracting 10 gets us 7x equals 4. This is supposed to be 24. All right. So 7x equals 14. So x equals $2. Those are very expensive pencils. I guess they are very, very fancy. All right, last question. For a field trip, 4 students rode in cars and the rest filled 9 buses. How many students were in each bus if, gosh, lots of typos, if 470 students were on the trip? So what is it that we don't know? We don't know how many students on each bus. All right, so now we have to come up with an equation. So we got to think about how we're going to come up with these 472 students. Well, there's going to be 4 students that are in the car. They're by themselves. After that, there's 9 buses, and there's going to be X students on each bus. So the total students that are on the buses are going to be 9X. And that's going to equal 472. So we're looking for that equation right here. In the past, I've seen this equation, 9x equals 472 minus 4. Really, on the side of an equation, there shouldn't be something that we can already just simplify. So this part of the equation makes it not a good equation at all. This equation could work. 472 minus 9x equals 4, because these are not like terms. All right, so let's just solve that really quick. Let's get rid of that one because that one's not good. Let's solve this one. Let's see, 472 minusing 4 from both sides, 9x equals 468. And then the video is about to stop, but go ahead and Solve that. We get 468 divided by 9. And we get 52. So 52 students is our answer.